Welcome home, neighbors.
Welcome home, neighbors.
Hello, neighbors.
We're listening from
Arizona,
Florida,
Maryland,
New York,
New Jersey,
Indianapolis,
California,
Utah,
Michigan,
Iowa,
Massachusetts,
Georgia, Canada,
Our home resort is
Animal Kingdom,
Polynesia,
Bay Lake Tower,
Old Key West,
Riviera,
Boardwalk,
Alani Resort,
Hilton Head,
Boulder Ridge, Copper Creek,
Grand Floridian,
Saratoga Springs,
Beach Club,
and Wilderness Lodge.
and you're listening to
and you're listening
You're listening
to
my
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Community Hall of the My DVC Points podcast. We are so glad you're here to join us tonight to talk about packing tips and what you might pack for a trip to Disney and how it might be different if you fly or if you drive. Or are you packing for a family of 10 or just a couple? We're going to talk about all those options tonight. But first, I'd like to introduce my friends who are going to talk about it with me because they probably know a lot more about this than I do. So, hello, Derek.
Hey, Marianne, good to be back on here. It's been a while.
I'm so glad to have you on the show with us tonight. And
Yeah.
who else is joining us?
Hi, Marianne.
It's
Happy New
Kathy. It's
So excited.
Kathy. And Kathy is the packing queen. She really should have a tiara on instead of ears, people. It's pretty impressive what she does. So we couldn't have a show about packing without asking Kathy to join us. So I'm
A
so
little
glad.
extra. A little extra, guys.
So if you're watching us on YouTube or on Facebook, please remember to like, subscribe, and share our podcast with everybody. We're really working on YouTube, people, so if you can share out or watch us on YouTube, that would be great. And we love to have you share our group with everybody you know on Facebook. So, and that's the My DVC Points community on Facebook. And we'd like to thank our sponsor tonight. Gina, who is our sponsor? What's the banner say for that? Is it the DVC Resale Market? Oh, DVC Resale Market. They are the drug dealers if you've got add-on-itis. People, you just need to call them up. Our friends at DVC Resale Market can solve all of your problems with add-on-itis just by giving them a call. There's always lots of contracts out there. Hey, do you need to make a change? Do you need fewer points? There are a lot of people out there that want to buy your points too. They're always asking for people who are wanting to sell their contracts. So call the experts at DVC Resale Market and they're going to help you out. Thanks so much, guys, at DVC Resale Market for sponsoring the show. So we wanted to start out the show tonight by asking you, do you have questions or advice about packing? Please, please, please comment. We wanted to communicate with you guys the best we can, and we know we've got some packing experts out there, or maybe you've been stumped on a packing problem or a packing dilemma. So maybe how to pack those ears or other things like that. Go ahead and ask. We'd love to hear about it. So if I'm going to start out by saying I love to be organized when I go to Disney World. I sat at the feet of the master of packing, my mother, as she would lay things out for a cruise on a bed upstairs. And she would have everything organized in little piles. And she would have all these bags that she'd pull out of places. You know when you would get the makeup bags from the Clinique counter, when you get the extra goodies when you bought something? She would save all those bags. And she would have them labeled and all these things. And I was like, that is so cool. But I'm never going to have all those bags. But for me, I do have all those bags. I am a firm believer in the packing cube. If you have not seen or heard of the packing cube, they are these glorious things that zip up, and they work kind of like the old Ziploc bag method, except that they're just a little bit more organized. They have some that just hold stuff, and they have some that are compression that shrink things down. And I pack everybody with packing cubes, and that's my very best tip. I even pack my park bags with packing cubes. And they make special ones for tech gear. They make all kinds of things. I am a firm believer in the Amazon Basics cheap packing cube. for real. Derek, what's your very best packing tip?
My best packing tip is make a list. Make a list of everything you want to take, because that's the way to not forget anything. And I love doing it on my phone. I use Google Keep because we're Android based, and that way I can go back. Like, I still have my lists on there from when I did RunDisney in 2016. I can go back and see what I packed, and we can just pull it up every year. And it's one of those, oh yeah, we got to do this. And, I forgot that. My other tip is bring an extra duffel bag. If you guys are like us, that you're buying stuff there. I know some people don't buy a lot of souvenirs. We always seem to buy shirts and kitchen towels and lightsabers and whatever. We always take a duffel bag inside another one of our suitcases so that we don't have to buy an extra duffel bag or suitcase while we're there to get all our stuff home.
So here's my question for you, Derek. In my house, my husband would not be packing his stuff. I am the one packing my stuff. Now, how are you the packer in your family?
I am the packer in our family.
Oh, there's a guy who's a packer in their family.
Not a Packers fan, go Chiefs, but I am the packer in our family. And part of that is, since I'm a teacher, I'm able to be home, and especially on those summer trips where I can be home. But one of my favorite pictures is when my son and I are packing. He was 2, and he's there laying out his blanket and putting his stuffed animals on it while I'm packing all our stuff on the bed. Oh. And so, yeah, I am the packer for our family.
That's awesome. So, that is awesome. And Kathy, what's your number one tip?
Okay, so I actually do a combination of what you both said, and I just take it up a little bit of a notch. Okay, so I use packing cubes, and I like them, but I usually use the Ziploc bags, because what I do is I put an itinerary per day of what I'm going to do. And like Derek, I take a suitcase and I put instead of a duffel bag, I put a suitcase inside a suitcase, because I'm a shopaholic. So I'm going to make this very simple, very simple. I'm a family of 4. We have 2 suitcases each. Okay. 1 suitcase is a food suitcase. 1 suitcase is for undergarments. 1 suitcase is for computer and electronics. 1 suitcase is for customs. And then each person has their own, which has pants, sweatshirts, socks and shoes. In the custom group, I do something like this. I don't know if you guys can see this. This is an example. Okay. So in here, I have an itinerary of where I'm going for the day, what everybody is wearing for the day, for the shirts, the ears, the masks, the matching headbands, and backups. And I have everything laid out per day. So in the morning, I just grab one. Here's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And depending on what the weather is, we will go and pick out a pair of shorts or a pair of pants.
Wow. Now, Kathy, remind us how old your kids are.
So my son is 11 and my daughter is 8. And I make about 40 outfits for the family each trip.
Wow.
I've been doing this for 11 years.
Yeah. And I will say I do something similar, but I just do in each person's suitcase, especially my son's, gallon Ziploc bag with the shorts, the shirts, and all the essentials. And like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that way all he has to do is reach in and grab that. And I will say one more from me. In your carry-on, take your swimsuit and take clothes for the next day in case something happens. That way you always have it with you. So, because as having someone who has lost luggage before on a Florida trip, that way we're able to do stuff even if we don't have our luggage there. And let's face it, by the time you have that, you can always buy stuff. So
I do something kind of similar, but I don't use Ziploc bags. I used Ziploc bags a long time ago when my kids were little, but now that my kids are older, Jack and Sarah pack for themselves. But for Kate, I pack her full outfit rolled together with everything she needs to wear down to the underwear, and I tie it with a ponytail holder and have a post-it note underneath the ponytail holder that says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and that is in the packing cube. So those outfits are stacked in her packing cube. And like Patricia, I roll everything in my packing cube. But I don't get away with matching outfits anymore. My people are the rebel scum of matching. They are not gonna do that anymore.
And Marianne, Sandy's asking what brand of packing cubes you use.
Okay, so my favorite packing cubes are the Eagle Creek. I like Eagle Creek packing cubes the very best, and they're available on Amazon. They're available on other companies too, and if you can find them on sale on one somewhere else, that's great. I like their compression cubes the very best. But most of my packing cubes are actually the Amazon Basics brand. And so those are the ones I have in multiple colors for every member of our family. Everybody in our family has a different color of packing cube. And then I use those. And then if I'm just taking Katie and I'll pack almost everything in the red Eagle Creek ones that we have. So those are my favorites. But my very favorite packing cube is the Eagle Creek Mini. It's about this big, literally. It's about a little bit smaller than a rectangle pencil case that your kids might have at school. And those are fantastic in my park bag because I can pack everything I need in multiples of those in my park bags. And the tops of them are mesh. So if security does go through my park bag, they look at it and they just see what's in it. And they don't have to take everything out and zip everything because they're mesh. So
yeah, and Patricia said she likes the ebags.com ones.
I have one set of the eBags ones. I didn't feel like they were. You need to get those on sale.
Okay.
There wasn't as much of a benefit to them for me, but yes, they fit very nicely.
And Courtney's on my team. Have the extra duffel bag. Courtney, I bet you're the one that did not have to figure out where you're going to put all your stuff when you were coming home, because it's one of those. And we always have a luggage scale, like one of those little spring luggage scales, because what your suitcase can hold and how much it may weigh are two totally separate factors.
And that's really important to use one of those. We do too when you use compression style packing cubes. Because a packing cube this big will shrink down to this big when it gets compressed down. So I love that.
A drawer that says clothes I only wear at Disney, and grab the stack and throw it in the packing cubes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Hope
Thanks,
says,
Hope. Thanks, Hope. We'll talk about that. You know what? Katie might be willing to match you one day. I bet she would. Your mom and I will talk, Hope.
Yeah, and Sandy says she's trained the kids to do their own per day lists, come up with themes of attire per day depending on where we're at, all make their piles and put them in their packing cubes. Guys, I have no problems with matching clothes. My problem is we go in July, and so temperature regulation is more important than looking cute.
Yep.
So you got to have the wicking stuff. Yeah, you got to have the wicking stuff. You got to have the tank tops. You got to have the lightweight shorts. So you don't find a lot of those in Disney. I mean, you can, and you can make your own, but for us, temperature is always more important. Control is almost always more important than looking cute and matching as a family. Okay. Plus, I have a 13-year-old boy, so it's, he'll roll his eyes and go, fine.
Yes, I totally understand that. Hey, Sandy, I love your problem.
A shoeaholic.
A shoeaholic? I don't know anybody else who's like that.
Well, Sandy, thank you. I'd argue I look cute every time, but you can look very cute in July. Yeah, you can. Depends on the stuff. Yeah. And I would say, you know what? If the Western footwear is appropriately sized, we're fine. Okay.
Yeah.
if the boot fits. So yeah.
I love having all the different new Crocs that Disney has come out with.
See, I can't do
Crocs.
I can't do Crocs all day, but I sure love to take them.
It's not my thing.
So
I gotta do tennis shoes. I will say there was one time we had been at Magic Kingdom the night before, and it, Tomorrowland with the rain, and you got the water up over your ankles when you have to go through it. So the next day we did Animal Kingdom in sandals and got lucky because I can't do sandals, but we were only there for like 3 hours because it was so hot. But yeah, shoes are, and as Sandy says, shoes take up so much room, but you gotta have good shoes. You gotta have shoes. And as Gina says, sneakers or flip-flops for the rain.
Yeah. And change of socks. Always socks with you as well.
I always carry an extra pair of socks.
Yeah. Major.
Yeah. So here, just real quick, Gina, before we scoot on to packing for events. Oh, it just flew out of my brain. Sorry, people. We'll talk about packing for events. I'll come back to it. I'll remember later. Okay. So special events at Disney World, things like the Christmas party, the Halloween party, RunDisney. How do we pack for those kinds of things? Derek, want to share with us some special tips you might have?
Yeah, and I'm going to focus on RunDisney because that's what I've done. I will say for RunDisney, my first thing is you cannot do RunDisney weekend with just a carry-on. I know there are some of you who like to just do carry-ons, but the runners know what I'm talking about, where Disney is a pack everything race. Disney is you got to pack in case it's cold. You got to pack in case it's rainy. You got to pack in case it's hot. You got to pack your extra energy gels or your technology you're going to wear. You cannot do RunDisney in a carry-on. That said, take a carry-on and have your essential race gear in it. Have your race outfit. Make sure you have your tennis shoes if they're not on your feet. Have your registration stuff. Make sure you have the stuff with you for RunDisney. And this is also one where you're going to want to make sure you have an extra suitcase. RunDisney, you automatically get shirts. You automatically get medals. You're going to want the extra swag from the expo that costs 3 times too much. So RunDisney is a great event, but it takes a little bit of extra planning and it takes a lot more stuff with you. Kathy, how about you? And, what's one of the special events you pack for?
Well, we always do usually a Christmas party or a Halloween party. We go during those types. So obviously, if it's Halloween, we have a Halloween costume. If it's Christmas, we're in pajamas or matching outfits or stuff like that. But the thing that I also bring is a backpack because we buy a lot of souvenirs. And we also change probably around, depending on the time, 10 o'clock into more comfortable clothes. So sweatpants or anything like that. So we have our backup. So the front part of the party, whether it be Halloween or Christmas, we'll take all our photos, get our nice pictures, meet all the characters, whatever it have been. And then we'll change and then we'll just have that back into our backpack and go on all the rides. That's the way that we usually do it. The only other thing that I really use is the Ziploc bags and the battery pack, obviously. The battery pack, my husband has one, I have one, and my son has one because no matter what phone we have, these things always die. And the Ziploc bags because my daughter always wants cotton candy or a Rice Krispie treat, and 3 seconds into it, she doesn't want anymore. So I just put that into a Ziploc bag and we save it for later. And then she wants it maybe 15 minutes later and she eats it again. So that would be my 2 things.
Mm-hmm. That sounds great. That's so great. So do we have anybody in the comment section? Oh, Amy.
You can pack in a carry-on. May or not have worn 3 layers on the plane once. I get hot very, 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 very easily, even in January on a plane. So if you can do that, more power to you, Amy.
Yeah. No, I can't do that either. So I would have to take an extra bag.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like that took up a ton of room in your suitcase, Sandy. Halloween parties. One of her besties is an art teacher and made her a fascinator specifically to go with her costume, and she had to have a hard box in her luggage. See, that's the thing about the Halloween party. When we did go to the one time we went to the Halloween party, that was one of the things I thought of when I was planning our costume was like, I don't want to take up a ton of room in my luggage for a costume.
Okay,
So
ladies, for those of us guys out there, what's a fascinator?
it's a hat. It's a fancy hat
Okay.
with like stuff.
Mm.
With like stuff.
The things.
Stuff.
Yeah,
A soft-sided
Soft-
cooler for all the free drinks.
or Mickey bars.
Yeah. I actually have a soft-sided cooler that's a backpack that we used to take for soccer all the time when the kids were little. And it's fabulous. So that would be perfect for that. So.
And then Becky says, when you pack for a race, visit your local thrift shop, wear them to the start line and ditch them. Yeah, it's $2 sweatshirt's better than a 10-cent trash bag, and the fact that it's more comfortable. And if at the Run Disney races, you're going to be at the starting line for 2 or 3 hours before it actually gets going. So
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's really good.
That's
because you do that back home for races. That's exactly what you do. It's very smart.
Yeah.
Cool.
And guys, as we're going through these, please if you have questions or you have ideas, give them to us.
Yeah.
That it doesn't have to be necessarily on topic. So, Kathy,
So what different items do you pack between driving or flying? Now, I fly, Derek flies, and Kathy most of the time drives.
Right.
So I think and let's talk a little bit different with this question also about, we're not just staying in hotel rooms here. We're not just staying in studios. We're staying in 1-bedrooms and 2-bedrooms. What kind of things do you take because you're staying in a DVC accommodation that would be different? Derek, flying, what's something that you make sure you take?
Flying, I make sure I take honestly as little as I think I can get away with, and this really makes a difference whether you are in a hotel room or in a DVC with laundry. And I said, wonder what percentage of DVCers pack less but do a few loads of laundry. Nick, pack one less t-shirt with the intent to buy a new one. Nick, I would say I take a third less clothing, because if I'm there for DVC, at most I've got an outfit a day. At most, but probably not even that. If I'm there in a hotel room, I'm probably packing at least an outfit and a half per day, because you're not going to have the laundry. So you're not going to be able to do, there is laundry. It's not nearly as convenient as if it's in a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom.
Exactly.
So it's one of those where I make sure that I have enough clothes that if I'm in a hotel room, if it rains one day and I go back to the hotel, I have at least one extra outfit to put on that day. And then if you're getting near the end of your trip and you're starting to run out of clothes, that's when you go to the wonderful world of the Emporium and say, what shorts and shirts do they have that I can wear? Because I will say, I have done that before, got caught in an absolute downpour walking across the park to Hall of Presidents, and it turned those red seats, turned my pants completely pink. So it was the Emporium to the rescue.
Wow. Well, and I would say now that we're DVC, I pack a lot less. And one of the things now that I do always pack is laundry tabs, to do laundry. And I do, even in a studio, we take advantage of free laundry, and I do laundry. Katie goes swimming in the pool, and I am in the laundry room doing laundry while we're there. How about you, Kathy?
I am the complete opposite. You will never see me doing laundry. I will not do laundry if I am in a studio, a 1-bedroom, or a 2-bedroom. It does not happen. I bring enough clothes. Obviously, the customs is one, but then I also bring backups in addition to that. What I end up doing is, like, for the kids, I mean, they're 8 and 11, they're getting a little bit older, but this was always a tip that people have given to me, is that bring like their older pajamas and things like that. And then when you're done, you toss them. Same thing with like the flip-flops at the end of the year. You don't bring that stuff home. Again, this just frees up. I'm a shopaholic. I have in the past always had to buy extra suitcases because that's how much stuff I buy to bring back. So I've tried to find ways of limiting the types of things that I bring to be able to bring more stuff, but in the clothes aspect, not doing it. yeah, that's just not gonna happen. As far as I think what Derek was saying before, though, like the different items between like driving and flying. I fly probably once a year and I'll drive 2 to 3 times a year. So things definitely change based on that. One, when I drive, I don't have to worry about weight. So again, talking about whether it be laundry or anything else, my suitcases, I have many of them and they're up to the brim because I don't have to worry about weight. As far as where I stay, I'm usually in a studio. So I have a lot of like the microwave foods and things like that. If we bring an item that is not located in the villas, it would be a crock pot. As far as other things that we bring, like wine is a huge thing, and we buy those. I don't know if you've seen them on Amazon. They look like, actually, I have one here. I don't know if you guys have seen this. Vino.
Oh,
This, I swear by this, whether you're flying or driving. When I'm at Disney, I don't want to wait for anything to be delivered to me. I want everything with me. So I will pack a bunch of wine. I will pack my Starbucks little mini coffees and I will put them in there. And then I have everything all situated. Another big thing is golf for my husband. We don't check that when we're flying, but when we drive, he'll play golf at Disney. So we'll either take that on the top of the car or have that on the side. So that's another issue that we're able to really use. Like I see Sandy just said that golf clubs when driving.
And the hard case when flying can be, a hard case when flying versus a soft case when flying. Yeah.
Yeah. My husband has a lot of stuff, and my son plays as well. So for that, it's just easier, obviously, to put it in the car and go.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, community members, what do you got to tell everybody? I want to hear your ideas. An owner's locker.
Amy said she keeps a lot of her running stuff in their owner's locker.
That's really smart. What other things, community, do you keep in your owner's locker? I don't own an owner's locker because we fly Southwest, so I pack everything and bring it with me back and forth. But put in the comments what you keep in your owner's locker. Yeah. Caleb, if I drive, I take water, more pantry essentials because it's cheaper to get groceries at home and doesn't cut into my vacation time. Amen about cheaper.
I will say, yes, it's cheaper, but we have had good luck with the grocery delivery. And and we've used some of the better known services. And then we've actually found lately there have been a couple cast members that have done it that were cheaper and actually got us picked out the better produce and had the better stuff like that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, we enjoy it, and that way we don't have to pack it when we fly. Sure. So, and yeah,
Blair says I pack much lighter now that we are DVC members. Yep. And Rebecca says when we drive, we take our Keurig machine. Rebecca, you're not the only person I've heard talk about bringing their Keurig machines, because a lot of people prefer their Keurig to the other kind of coffee that the Joffreys or other kind of drip things that they have in the room. I'm not a coffee drinker, so I ordered Diet Coke or buy a mug. So Sandy says driving, everyone's clothes go into their own suitcase. Flying, she splits the clothes up amongst all the bags in case a piece of luggage gets lost. Everyone will at least have some of their clothing. That's brilliant.
Yeah, very similar to bringing a carry-on. Yeah,
it's a brilliant tip. Gina says we do laundry at least one or more times a week. I never did until Alani in 2017. Yeah, once you try it, it's like
not doing it.
I always said that I don't like to do laundry on things, but when I was able to pack Katie and I for a 10-day trip in 2 carry-ons by doing laundry, I was like, forevermore will I try to do laundry on a trip. So,
and we always do laundry like at night. When you get back, you put a load in the washer. After you're done showering, you throw it in the dryer. It's clean clothes for the morning. And I will say, guys, if you don't want to bring laundry pods, they will give you as many as you want. You just have to keep asking for the laundry detergent.
Absolutely. So when we drive, we tend to take more food, including pre-made frozen meals like chilies and casseroles. That's a good idea, Amy, because that's my thing. I'm not a big fan of cooking while on vacation. I don't mind throwing laundry in while I'm sleeping, but I don't want to spend my time cooking. But boy, I'm a freezer meal cooker. Boy, if I could do that and drive and get it there, that'd be awesome. What a good tip. Amy also says she has everything in her owner's locker. Toiletries, kitchen stuff, clothes, rain gear, first aid, running stuff. We recently brought our owner's locker home, though, since we will always drive now. It just lives in our garage now. That's a smart tip. I've heard other people say for their packing, they have their Disney wardrobe. And those are put away in a box, and they just get those boxes out when it's time to pack. So, and Rebecca says we pack laundry items and still overpack and still do laundry. Well,
I'd rather have too many clothes, though. I'd rather have an extra outfit or two than not have enough in what you need.
Absolutely. Caleb says he likes to pack as little as possible for flying, lugging those bags everywhere stinks. Rest in peace. Airport luggage service and resort airline check-in. Amen. I miss that service. That's the one thing I pray that someday will come back, because that was a blessing. Gina, for owner's locker, she keeps her laundry pods, dryer sheets, and an air mattress in her owner's locker. That's a great idea.
Makes sense.
Christy, I pack an air filter for the room. When flying, we take a mini one. When driving, we pack a large one. Now that's interesting. I have never thought about taking an air filter machine. That's a great idea. Glenn says, you're at Disney, so always a bus ride from the Springs. Why cook? Well, you're exactly right.
That's my boy.
There you go. So it's kind of been and so what do you think is, other than, we talked about laundry, what is different about staying in DVC? What do you pack differently for DVC, do you think, that people wouldn't even think about packing now, now that we're DVC members versus just staying at Old Pop Century? What would be the difference?
It's an excellent question.
It is, and it's a little bit of a stumper, I think. I think I do pack differently. I think that I packed, especially if I were to drive, I would definitely pack more food. And when we've stayed in the 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms, while they have pans and things like that, I think there are some things that I would miss cooking with if I was actually going to be cooking. I love my Pampered Chef micro cooker, for example. And there's a special popcorn popper that we have that's made of silicone. I would probably pack that. And if I had an owner's locker, I would probably keep one of those in so I could just have popcorn kernels and that for making popcorn in the room. So
I think for me, I'm sorry, Derek. I think for me, it doesn't make that much of a difference just because I do studios more than 1 bedrooms. But I will say this. I stayed in April at the beach club, but I didn't stay on points. I stayed cash, and I didn't think about just the normal things that are in a DVC studio, like a microwave. And I brought all this popcorn and Chef Boyardee and mac and cheese and like these little microwave like rice cups. And I went down and I said, oh my God, I don't even have a microwave. So luckily I went downstairs and they had one, but it's first come, first serve. So something as simple as like a microwave that you think you're going to have. It's a difference between staying cash in that studio. So there's my lesson learned on that one.
There you go.
I was going to say, for me, what I would do different if I was going to cook, like if I was going to be there much more than a week, I think I'd probably be cooking more. I would definitely, if I was going to do that often, I would definitely have an owner's locker so I could have some good cooking knives there, because I have yet to stay anywhere that has good knives to cut potatoes, to cut chicken, but especially like potatoes and sweet potatoes and those kind of things that you have to have a good big knife for. If I'm going to be there cooking a lot, I'm taking, now obviously can't take that on a plane.
Right.
But yeah, so that's probably what I would do different. But biggest for me is taking less clothes. It's the laundry issue. So yeah.
Taking less.
As Gina says, yeah.
I now pack less clothes.
Maybe.
And more home essentials. I think that's a really good just saying, is home essentials, because we're going home. DVC is our home away from home. So those home essentials, we do need some things like that, especially for the longer stays. I think the biggest difference for me, Kathy Elliott says, is bringing food items in luggage so we don't order much delivered. Okay, I think that's I have usually a suitcase of granola bars and goldfish, so I get that. Caleb, he likes his own coffee and filters because the supplied ones and the drip machines are yucky. And regular rooms don't have microwave guarantees. So when we stay DVC, we always carry Easy Mac. That's great. When Gina went to Alani, they went to Costco and ate in 3 nights. And
saving a ton of money.
That would save a ton of money, especially at Alani. But even at World, and I don't really want Katie to eat hot dogs and chicken nuggets the entire time we're at Disney World. I would like her to eat a fruit and a vegetable. So that's kind of part of the reason why we did invest in DVC. So we would have those kitchens and have the ability to do things like that. Amy says she keeps a Dash griddle in her owner's locker. It's great for cooking. I am cheap, so we cook a lot, even in a studio. I didn't think about keeping my Dash griddle in, because I have one of those.
Is it just like a flat top that's self-heating?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's brilliant.
Okay.
And Dash makes them a little bit smaller, so they're not as big. So that's great.
Okay, ladies, bonus question for you. And we talked about this a little bit. We've got a little bit of extra time. You're going to go stay DVC. Do you still take a park bag? And if you do, what's in it? Okay. Kathy, I'm going to start with you. Do you still take a park bag? And if so, what's in it?
Yep. Everyone in the family takes a park bag. Me and my husband my husband and my son has a regular book bag, and my daughter and I have the little mini lounge blinds. So inside, very simple: change of clothes, extra mask, sanitizer, Ziploc bags, and socks. That's it.
Okay.
I always carry a park bag. We carry one park bag for the whole family. In it, we have our packing cube that has our tech stuff, which will be your rechargers and your cords and AirPods and all of that stuff. We have girls in our family, so we have a packing cube of girly products, and then we have packing cubes with snacks in them. And I'll usually have one other packing cube just with miscellaneous extra magic bands and miscellaneous park things. And the other thing, Katie uses a lot of sunscreen, and she always wears a hat because of some health issues. And so we always have an extra hat, because I can't tell you the number of times that a hat has disappeared midday and a $30 Disney hat isn't always what I want to do. So we have an extra hat stashed in that backpack, and all the sunscreen in the world for replacing sunscreen. So yeah, I always carry a backpack. Either one of the adults in our family always has one, but no, I don't make everybody carry them. There would be a rebellion.
We buy too much stuff though, and since Disney, in all seriousness, like we literally go into places and we always come out with tons and tons of stuff. And the fact that now Disney doesn't allow you to send it back to the hotel, which please bring that back, please. Then I'll only need one park bag. But until that happens, I need stuff to put it, because I don't want to carry around shopping bags. That's my issue.
And I will say, we're going to go 3 for 3 here. I always carry, and I've even gone to the point where I've got a structured bag where like it actually gives some air movement behind my back, which is nice. And my mom and my wife are both in ECVs. So I will usually start with the ponchos and the water bottles and the hats and extra socks, battery chargers, everything. But then as we go on, and Kathy, we're like you, as we're buying stuff, the ponchos tend to move it into the baskets of the ECVs, and the stuff we don't want to leave sitting around goes in my backpack. So, and yeah, and it sounds like we got a lot of people on board also. Yeah, Nick says,
that's a brilliant one.
Nice idea, Nick. Yeah.
Holiday decorations, because, we are never there at the holiday. I mean, it's very rare that we are there at the holiday. But, if you did that holiday trip every year, that would be a brilliant thing to keep in your owner's locker. because I don't think I'd want to haul that kind of. That would be an entire suitcase or two to haul back and forth, to haul decorations back and forth. So that's fantastic. So, Christy, I don't have one. I have no idea.
I'm gonna come on and answer this.
Thank you.
So I have the owner's locker. So the best thing I'll send you the link, Christy. They deliver to the hotel. You just put in where you're staying. They deliver it the day you get there, and they pick it up the day you leave. So if you're checking into Saratoga Springs on Sunday, they'll drop it off Sunday by 4 p.m. And if you're leaving the following week, they'll pick it up the following week by 3 p.m. And then it's only like $5 a month for the first year. And I'm still paying $5 a month. So I don't know if that ever goes away. I don't know what the deal is, but it's supposed to go up. So anyway, it is worth it. I will send you the link. Anyway. Okay. Bye.
Bye, dear. There we go. There we go.
So cute.
Yeah.
Sandy, I miss the stroller days too, for all the extra sweaters, sweatshirts, and all the extra stuff. I agree.
And to me, carrying a backpack, I loved not having a stroller with my son. My son was a walker, and when he was 2, we did a open to close at Magic Kingdom with a baby carrier.
Yeah.
Between that and him walking, we didn't really. I mean, but now we've got the ECVs for the extra sweaters and that kind of stuff. So yeah, and
you know, always
backpack,
ponchos, snacks, and a water bottle. Good. Yep, those water bottles, they're essential. And Rebecca says, yes, we have sling bags. Oh, those sling bags are really nice. We have a water bottle, snacks, baby wipes, chargers, Ziploc bags, and wet ones, or sanitizer, sunscreen, and tissues. Yes, and since with COVID, yeah, I think anybody who's visited the park since COVID, we take different things in our backpacks now. We take extra masks. We take extra sanitizer, those kinds of things that we didn't even think about, 2 or 3 years ago. So Caleb says, always, always have an umbrella, great for sunshade and rain.
And I will add on a raincoat instead of a poncho if you've got the room.
Yeah.
Just a raincoat with a hood, you can move so much easier, and they're usually so much cooler than the hot ponchos in July. So
that makes sense.
I'm going to add on one thing. I see the one consistent is everybody brings a water bottle. I bring the Tervis water bottles. I will tell you one thing. Water after a while gets really tiresome, so I am very key on the Crystal Light packets or some type of drink. So the Mio, something to squeeze in there, because that's been a lifesaver.
Yeah, our family's picky about water, so we drink. Our water bottles are the Brita filtered water bottles. Mm-hmm. We fill them up with ice at the hotel before we go, and all day long. Yeah.
And along those lines, Marianne, we honestly buy our water bottles just because I have to have like super cold water, and no matter how much ice in July you pack in a water bottle, it's gone by 10 in the morning.
It is.
And we're not even going to, I notice no one here is advocating, oh, you can just get the water bottle out of the water out of the water fountains. No, if you're literally dying of thirst, maybe. But other than that, don't drink the water out of the water fountains.
Amy Meeker Taylor's park bag equals lunch. She carries lunch for her family. Wow. Tech stuff, rain gear, water bottles, and trading pins. Yes, now that we've entered the world of trading pins, we carry that too. Becky, Ziploc bag with one or more of those snap cold cloths.
Yeah, the blue.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The cooling towels.
Yes.
The cooling towels.
They work.
They do work. I like them. Nick and Steve are all about the cargo shorts as their park bag. It's amazing how much we can hold in our shorts.
I love that.
Oh, Nick, you're just park styling. Cargo shorts are park styling. So, Derek, you need to get a better water bottle if your ox has gone by 10.
Well, but again, those great water bottles, I have them. A, they're heavy.
Yeah, they are heavy.
And you got to remember, I'm flying all the time. And B, I drink enough water that even if I'm refilling, because I'm refilling it so often, it is gone by 10 or 11 in the morning, especially if you're not getting cold water to put in it. So,
Derek, Disney gets me too. I buy those water bottles every once in a while. Sometimes you just want it right then and there, and you see it, you want that ice cold bottle. You're just going to go to that stand and get it.
And while you're there, you have to grab the Mickey bar, and then that's how they get you.
Of course.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, you're there anyway.
Caleb likes liquid water flavoring, also known as Squirtles by his family.
Ooh,
Yes, the Mios, the Squirtles. So that sounds well, guys. I think we've covered a lot about information about packing. So follow up in the community posts tonight, guys. Kathy has got some amazing pictures of her packing system and all of that we're going to put up in the community. And let's keep this conversation going for people who missed it tonight, because I think one of the things that I love most about our community is when we share all these tips and we get such great ideas for each other. I heard about packing cubes from somebody in the community once and was just amazed and said, I need to go learn about these. And, if somebody hadn't shared it with me, I would have never known. So I love that we can get together on Sunday nights and share information like this. And pro tip, find the quick service place that has the soda fountain and fill your water there. That's exactly what we do.
And those are getting further and few and further between, especially in the parks, because I think there's only one in Magic Kingdom. I don't know. Do they still let you? Do you still fill your own at Be Our Guest?
Well, I don't know. We never go to Be Our Guest because it's so pricey.
Okay. I mean,
Says the girl with the most expensive day ever coming up.
I was going to say pricey. Really? You're going to complain about a $15 roast beef sandwich?
Yeah, I know. This is a very unusual trip in December. So.
Yeah, I get it.
But all right, everybody, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We had a great time. Any but last call for questions, last call for pro tips, last call community. All right, Derek, close us out with any last pro tips you might have.
Always have your magic bands in your bag or something that you carry on the plane, because even if you're using your phone, take a set of magic bands as a backup, because you never know.
Yep.
Kathy, one last quick hit.
The more you plan before the trip, the more prepared you'll be.
I like that. That was great. This is my pro tip. We live in this cashless society world until we don't. Please, 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 in your pocket, in your park bag, make sure you stick a 20 in, because you never know the day you're going to walk into the park and you're going to try to use your magic band and that's not going to work to buy anything, and your card's not going to work because all of their computers have crashed, and we all love Disney IT, right? But they almost always will still take your $20 to buy your water bottles.
And I had a real life experience with that. My boy and I'd gone miniature golfing, and we go to get a water bottle, and their computers are all down. Well, all I had was my magic band or my credit card. Well, he had already opened a water bottle from the thing. So I'm going, but luckily we had the Disney Magic, and it was like 95 degrees with no wind, and they saw he was dying. So, but yeah, totally carry some cash with you.
Yeah, that's, as hard as it is to do that. I mean, I get it, people, but it's always better to be safe than sorry at Disney World. So it was great visiting with you guys tonight, Derek and Kathy. It was a great evening, and thanks, community, for joining us. And we will see you next week on the MyWC Points Community Hall. What are we talking about next week, Gina? Do you know what we're talking about? I don't remember. Gina, pop in.
Yeah, it might be Andy. I have to make sure. So it might be add-on-itis Andy.
And add-on-itis. Oh.
I have to get in touch with him. Make sure his internet works. All right.
So, but it's going to be great. And you can find us in all the places, on all the podcast things, for the regular podcast and for newscasts and for Derek's Plus Platoon.
Yay! Tuesdays at 9. Yeah.
Tuesdays at 9, and they were fabulous this week. They were talking about some of those neat documentaries that I think are neat on the Disney
It's a fun show.
So if you have a chance, that would be great. And Kathy, is there some place people can catch up with you later?
I'm on Cuts by Magic on Facebook. That's the easiest way to reach me.
Perfect. Well, thanks, guys, for coming. We'll see ya real soon.
Night, everyone.
Bye.